All right, folks, it's game 3 here between LFY and Newbee, the Chinese qualifiers for Captain's Draft 4.0, the lower bracket final, now entering its final game. Some interesting heroes so far in this pool, but we should have a fairly good matchup. Very close series so far. Newbee taking game 1 after a great performance from KP. Obviously, game number 2 was just taken by LFY and Inflame on the Beastmaster. And the question we were asking for game 3 was, will they ban out the Beastmaster on Newbee? And it looks like they don't have to make that decision because LFY, realizing that Newbee have first pick, they take it away. They say this hero is too strong and we won't let it through. So now we have some other heroes to look at instead. My name is Mott. Basically, what do you think about the bans so far and the draft that is available for both of these teams at this point?
I like the bans. I think a lot of strong heroes have been banned, but I think this hero pool is also full of a lot of garbage and a lot of really situational heroes as well. So this could be one of those situations where we see a fairly one-sided draft, one way or the other. Like, is anyone going to pick techies? Probably not. Is Arc Warden going to get picked? Maybe. That could be one of the trump cards in here. But then there's also stuff like Huskar, quite situational. Slark at the moment seems truly trash tier. I don't know if we'll ever see him in his current state, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on the available pool.
Man, poor Slark. He wasn't really that good, you know, previously in the last patch, and then like they changed a lot. They changed it so Axes can't get dispelled, and all of a sudden he's even worse. And you're just like, why would I pick this hero? What are the incentives? And there are certain instances where I'm sure Slark is a good pick. And in fact, we've seen it win games in this patch, but it just feels as if there are other heroes that fit that role better. And I doubt we will see him. But what we will see is the Puck for Newbee and the LFY Earthshaker to start things off. So some very strong heroes coming out here in the first overall.
Yeah, the pool is not all garbage. let's say that much. Newbee, I like the Puck pick. They've got 2 very good Puck players on the team, KP and SCCC, so no big surprises there. Shaker, kind of a, let's say, classic counter to Puck, right? Has good instant lockdown, has good chain disable as well. So if you do happen to land that first stun on Puck, quite good. Also, I think one of like a hero that Puck worries about a little bit in terms of playing on the mid lane, just makes you much more hesitant to ever use your orb because you could potentially get caught by a Fissure and then be in big trouble shortly after that. But the more interesting part of this draft is definitely going to be the tail end.
Yeah, that's when all these interesting picks come out. The Arc Warden, potentially. There's a Razor, which we've seen a lot of. Has not had the most success in the world. We even have a Nature's Prophet, who one patch ago was one of the most picked heroes recently. I haven't seen too much Nature's Prophet personally, but again, in Captain's Draft, you don't see a lot of the heroes that you're used to just because of the way the pool is structured. What I have seen a lot of, actually, is this Gyrocopter played by a couple of different teams. In terms of fighting early, this hero is definitely great at it. Rocket Barrage. You can also, it's like you get Homing Missile maxed out now, which, or at least of the players that I've seen pick him do. And then you kind of decide, okay, do we want to fight with Rocket Barrage or do we want to start to farm with Flat Cannon? What are the decisions I want to have to make here for this Gyrocopter? And I think it's a good pick overall for Newbee, especially against something like a Necrophos with a Ghost Shroud. So I am into this hero. I don't know how you feel about the Gyrocopter personally.
Yeah, I think he fights really well early. They've kind of given Gyrocopter some of his old strength back in terms of being really well equipped at fighting in the early stage of the game. Still has some trouble in terms of scaling, I think, and in terms of heading into the late game, especially with the current state of plus damage items just keeps getting worse and worse every patch. Like in terms of items that you really want to buy to synergize with Flat Cannon, there's very few left, especially with MKB kind of getting dealt with in the last patch, but still good. I think the plan for Newbee is that they just want to play the early game really heavily. Like you're saying, you know, maybe they need a little bit more push. That is where maybe something like the Nature's Prophet comes in, or even Chen. Though I don't know if Chen Clockwork is necessarily the most potent support duo.
They get away with like a Terrorblade or a Lone Druid, because those also, I mean, there's actually a lot, quite a few pushing heroes available. Even like the Abaddon to a certain extent also might be a good idea.
But yeah, I don't mind the Abaddon at all, actually. The saves are good against the Necro, potentially. I think the extra survivability is really nice with Gyro, especially in the face of all of LFY's burst damage.
They will take the Tree and Protector on the other side. So speaking of a save, a bit more defensive. And they will also take the Lone Druid. So they're going to go for more of that pushing strategy with the Lone Druid, the Demolish, and the Bear, obviously. This is, of course, LFY versus Newbee, a very cool series. We've seen these teams play up against each other a lot, including at TI7. Very good stuff there. And this is, of course, for the lower bracket final. Winner of this series, winner of this game, in fact, moves on to play up against Vici Gaming here in just a couple of minutes, in just a little while. And that series is right around the corner. It should start relatively quick after the series is done because we did go to all 3 games. And that should be an exciting series. Vici Gaming, they've had a dominant performance, but I would be hard-pressed. I would be very surprised to see a 3-0 stomp come out. I think that these teams are very evenly matched. I think that there's a lot on the line here. There's a trip to Washington, D.C. for one of these teams. And there it is, the Chen for Newbee that you mentioned. Will they go for more push? They will pick up the Storm Spirit instead. So somewhat of a fast-paced game, but they also have late game potential with the Storm and the Gyrocopter. And I actually really like this pick from Newbee, but LFY will go for the Abaddon, and they have themselves a nice little bit of a pushing lineup now with Inflame on the Abaddon. So what do you think about these last few picks here, Base Coop?
So LFY's push, 5-man, and sustain are now pretty crazy. I think I really like this feels similar to game 1 where Newbee picked the Train Protector plus the Pugna, and then kind of not only did they get some really good ways to defend their own towers, they got some really good tower push, and that kind of created this pressure on LFY where they lost some towers early, and the gold started to snowball a little bit. The Storm Spirit looks, I mean, it looks all right this game. I think LFY probably do have enough lockdown to potentially kill it off, and I worry about this Chen. Could look really great if he gets some good creeps and gets a couple of ganks down early, especially given that LFY are relatively melee heavy, at least when it comes to their supports. I think they do have, this Chen has some good opportunities here to really put some heavy pressure on the lanes.
Right.
But I'm a little bit afraid after that, just because of how good the LFY 5-man and the sustain is. I mean, they got 3 healing heroes and some fairly beefy cores that are difficult to bring down.
It's true. That sustain is definitely significant for LFY. We've seen drafts like this absolutely just be super prevalent for some of these teams. On the other side, though, this Chen, I've seen a lot of Chens just kind of have a rough time. Their impact was minor in some of the games we've seen of Chen recently. But I think with Faith playing him, he has a very good chance of making things go pretty well for Newbee. I don't know, a lot, I think, comes down to this early game, getting a good start for both of these teams, in fact. Getting this Lone Druid some good farm. And again, I don't want to keep harping on this, but Monet getting involved is a pretty common factor for LFY having good games. I guess that, and we talked about this at the beginning of today too, right? We talked about how it's just kind of a core meta, or rather a carry meta. Getting your carry involved for any team is going to be significant one way or the other. So,
yeah, and making sure that your carry is just kind of always scaling. I think you notice it now more, the acceleration that you get, like item after item on a lot of these carry heroes. It's especially noticeable with the anti-mage. And Newbee come running up here aggressively onto the high ground, but not going to find anyone.
They're almost getting pincered themselves. Coming from behind was Inflame, but immediately Newbee vacate the top area of this bounty rune, and they head into the river, and there will be a bit of a pause. So we will slow things down for the moment. We'll get a quick pause, which we haven't had too many of today, so I'm not too concerned. Shouldn't be an issue. It actually looks like that we haven't seen either of these teams clash at level 1 at the beginning of these games. We might see it here. I don't know. I don't know if level 1 fighting is a good idea for either of these teams, especially with Faith. He has Holy Persuasion, so it's not like you really want to deal with that. And against a nature, or rather, Tree and Protector, who is 91 base damage. In fact, LFY feeling that they might be a bit stronger with a Photic Shield. They're going to run up, although Kaka will get off a nice cog pushback. A couple of denied cogs coming out. DDC will get 20 gold with him getting one of the last hits. And they will invade the enemy jungle and take the rune, it looks like. On the other side, KP might do the same bottom. LFY have a chance here at getting 3 of these, and KP needs to be kind of careful. I think KP will probably get this with the help from SCCC, although KP is taking a lot of damage. Yeah, Monet is going to have to back up. So they will secure themselves 2 a piece. It looks like LFY will get 1 on the top side of the map, And then Newbee will get him on the bottom side of the map as well.
Yep, Faith doesn't have anything better to do at this time because there's no jungle creeps yet, so he's just going to go and help block out the mid lane, which means SCCC is not going to use his TP scroll right away, which I think is very important, especially when he's playing against like the Earthshaker as a position 4, because if he TPs mid and then dies right away, and has his TP scroll on cooldown, that could be a total disaster. So I like the fact that they just use the Chen like this.
Yeah, he's just sitting here. Homing missile top lane of Abaddon. By the way, KP pulled the wave, and he did a pretty good job of it. Jaunting is away from DDC, trying to avoid any damage. He doesn't want to get hammer-fisted by that Train Protector, but yeah. Finally, the Chen will head back into the jungle as it is going to be creep spawning time, and we will see how his beginning of the game fares. Again, Faith getting involved. He will find an Alpha Wolf. He'll also see a Mud Golem over there. Right. But what else did he get? Oh, he got the Satyr. Nice. He's in. Yeah. All right. Maybe he can get a kill or two. Maybe on the Abaddon. Maybe he rotates mid. I don't even know where you go with this Chen, actually. You go bottom?
This jungle setup's actually okay. There's also a Hellbear over here on the right-hand side. So you could potentially grab that and go and find a kill elsewhere. Maybe a bit of a wraparound on mid, something like that.
Yeah.
I see somewhat blocked in, but able to stand his ground in the mid lane, especially with the regen help from the Satyr.
He just whittled his way through that Fisher wall. That was really interesting. Kind of just went through part of the wall itself. But SCCC, he had a great start last game on the Sniper. A little bit tough for this game because of Afu just sitting. But now, Kaka, battery salting up in flame, but they're under the tower. So, I don't know about this. Kaka's taking a lot of damage. Of course, Curse of Avernus has been leveled up as well. And I think he's just trying to put pressure and make Inflame bit uncomfortable, but for now he's still just able to sit up here and get some farm. Although actually, no last hits for Inflame, interestingly enough. Mugi's done a good job denying.
Yeah, they've been zoning the map pretty nicely. That's one of the other nice things about Gyrocopter, as the safe laner actually puts on quite a lot of pressure, able to zone out reasonably well with the homing missile.
So things have slowed down. KP on this puck. The offlaners have had quite a big impact in this series. Pretty much winning games 1 and 2 for both of their teams. Newbee, obviously KP in game 1, and Flame in game number 2. And we'll see if KP can't have that big impact. Maybe even the Abaddon as well for Inflame. But for now, we're just kind of slowing things down. No real aggressive. We've actually had a lot of aggressive tri lanes too. There's been a lot of action. That's not happening in this game.
Yeah, one thing that could be a bit scary for LFY is if they're not ahead, then I think their initiation is quite bad. Sure, it gets mitigated a little bit once they pick up the Shaker Blink, but he's kind of the only real source of initiation this game. So I think it's important for them that they kind of come out of the laning stage a little bit ahead, and they manage to stay ahead from there. It'll also be hard if they're behind, then the Reaper Scythe isn't going to kill anybody, I think.
Right.
Is a really hard situation to find yourself in as a Necrophos.
I like your point about initiation. In the meantime, Inflame is being caught in the cogs, but he's doing a lot of damage to Kaka. But there's the Rocket Barrage, and Mugi will secure first blood, and Faith even came through as well. He will drop the Penitence, but it won't be enough to secure a secondary kill. And so Mugi scaling up the Rocket Barrage, level 2 in fact, along with the level 1 homing missile. More than enough damage to bring down that off-lane Inflame Abaddon.
Good that the Gyrocopter is getting some good early farm, a little bit more space, because the Lone Druid's actually doing excellently down bottom. Monet farming up a Storm on the Lone Druid. I think this is actually one of his other signature heroes.
Right.
Which, really hyped up his Void the other day, but his Lone Druid's pretty legit.
Yeah, we'll see what he can get done with it. I think he's going to have a great game. They're not going to be able to really do much to him in the early game for now. I like your point going back about initiation, because if you look at LFY, like you mentioned, the Earthshaker, that's pretty much it. But you have a Puck and a Storm Spirit and a Clockwork on the Newbee side, so they have plenty of ways to get involved in these fights and let Mugi kind of run amok. And I think this could be a pretty good mid-game for Newbee if all things go well in this laning phase. And so far, it's not bad. I mean, the Puck has gotten pushed out of bottom for now, but it's not like he's died like Abaddon has in the off lane.
I really like the way that Newbee can kind of... I feel like Mugi, whatever lane he rotates to, if he links up with any of those 3 initiators that we've been talking about, it's quite easy for him to find kills. So it's not like a kind of situation where sometimes you have a Slardar Lifestealer, right? And as soon as the Slardar is off the map and the Lifestealer is off the map, you know exactly what's going on. Oh, Mugi gonna run out a little bit here, but Kaka should be fine to keep him alive.
He's fine.
But in this situation, if like it's not obvious at all, the Gyro could be farming jungle. He could just be off the map in fog for whatever other reason. But if you're LFY, you actually have to be a little bit afraid because Newbee have such good jump potential and then really good follow-up damage with the Gyro.
It's a very good point. Being cognizant of the location of the Gyro, and you're already trying to worry about where Faith is, where he's rotating at this stage in the game. So that's just another thing you have to keep track of if you're LFY. And Lone Druid's still pretty safe down bottom. He is not getting run at. They're trying to set up mid on SCCC, but top lane is where the real action's happening. Homing this will hit. They have Cox for Kaka. There's a Centaur Conqueror. Stomp the Rocket Barrage. Aphotic Shield will not save him, and even coming with Faith, throwing up the Pentant. It's more than enough damage to secure the kill. DDC walks a little bit too far. He might be in the Sentry range. For now, he's fine. But
yeah, I think he's figured out where it is.
Yeah.
He's but all he could do is watch as the Abaddon got taken out.
No living armor, obviously, not this early in the game. Nature's Guide's level 2. Level 1 Leech Seed. Again, they tried setting up an SCCC, but that's not going to be able to happen much longer because, again, you will be level 6 momentarily. Unless they, like, lead into a Fisher with Reaper Scythe or something. SCCC will be a lot harder to kill. And in terms of the kills that Newbee have, too, it's not that fast pace of an early game. But, again, the one that's really benefiting from this is Monet down bottom, who has already 1,300 gold and almost a Midas recipe. So, Monet is having a great old time down bottom for now.
Yeah, he's really putting a damper on KP's experience as well with all these denies. 20 denies. KP about to reach level 5. He does have his Soul Ring picked up as well. I think he'll still farm decently this game. It's just not going to be insanely quick. It would be really nice if Faith could find them a way to get a tier 1 tower so that they can get some more gold flowing in. And Kaka Fisher blocked here.
Meanwhile, they're going to have to TP. Top lane, though, you're right. Fisher block. Kaka also TPing away. Newbee used 2 TPs to get themselves out of a rough situation. KP using one bottom as he gets rooted by the bear, and then top lane as the Fisher came out. But Newbee will both survive. This kind of feels like the Lone Druid play is kind of like his KP in the first game with the Enigma and how he had like 20 denies at this point in the game as well. Sort of similar in that regard. So he's kind of getting a taste of his own medicine at this point in the game.
Yep, using the summons to great effect. Monet has now finished his Midas, which is getting shipped out. And he's going to be going for a Radiance build overall. The Necro, synergizing with that nicely, is going to be going for the Veil, which is certainly good. And LFY kind of looking for this classic Lone Druid timing push kind of a lineup with all the Abaddon sustain. I do wonder what the Abaddon build is going to be. Like, Solar is probably not that attractive this game. Maybe we'll just see like a Vlad's and a Blade Mail, something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I don't think there's any way he goes Radiance. They already have a Lone Druid. I don't think he needs this game. That's like, that also, is that build kind of out of favor now for Abaddons? Do you just go, I mean, have you seen any Radiance builds on a Abaddon recently? Because that used to be pretty popular.
Wasn't there one in NA Captain's Draft?
That sounds right. I can't remember off the top of my head, though. It's been a couple days.
Yeah, but I've seen it a little bit. I mean, of course, this game they have the Lone Druid buying it, but the Abaddon... I think it just totally depends on what your team needs from you. In this game, he's mostly there to save the other cores and just kind of keep the push going and build, bring some more building damage. Sometimes you need your Abaddon to carry, even if he's in the off lane, but I don't think that's the situation this game.
Right, yeah. And Flame's not getting enough farm to head in that role anyways. He's a couple hundred gold ahead of KP, though, so that's good news for him. And LFY actually have a 1k advantage. Very good for them, again, because... This Lone Druid will scale pretty well. He's already up to the Midas like you talked about. He's building into his Radiance. So Monet is going to be a big factor, and you have to wonder at what point do Newbee try to deal with him. They have level 6 in the Gyrocopter. He's still top for now. Battery Assault. Abaddon does not have a 6 yet. No bar time. Here comes the call down. Rocket Barrage and DDC again. He can only look on, even try to get it off the Leech Seed and Living Armor. Can't even get the animation in time. Well, so killing Abaddon. Yeah, Super might be in trouble here. They're going to Ball Lightning in. The Veil's going to get dropped down. The Ensnare coming in. The Ghost Shroud coming through. The Illusion Orb Waning Rifted. Dream Coil coming out. Super still alive. The Death Pulse. Somehow he's going to get the Reapers. Almost getting SCCC. He wants this kill. He will get it. Super gets the kill on SCCC before he goes down. That is insane. The Ghost Shroud. The heal. But now they're turning it into DDC as well. They had the Pendants. They're slowing him down. Centaur Conqueror Stop is up in one of the batteries, so Kaka is diving deep. They want this kill. He's got Leech Seed. DDC, can he get it off in time? He cannot. Kaka will get slowed by it. It actually did get off at the end, but again, that is still a fantastic play from Super. He narrowly survived. The wand charges, the death pulse, unbelievable stuff with that Ghost Shroud.
Another situation where it feels like you really notice the Puck Dream Coil nerf not having the initial damage. I think with that, they might have been able to burst him down before he was able to find the turnaround. But yeah, also that 17 charge one. They were so close to killing him without him getting the wand off, but just not quite enough chain stun, unfortunately.
That's insane, man. You're right. That Dream Coil, I mean, I think 100% they get that kill before he gets that wand or Death Pulse off if the Dream Coil damage actually still existed. So KP's maybe a little sad, but they still get it. It's just at the cost of SCCC and giving some experience away to Super. So a bit unfortunate for Newbee.
Yeah, and some big damage on the tier 1 tower bottom, actually. Monet chewing through that while KP was out of the lane. So that tier 1 is almost dead. Will probably fall in the next couple of minutes. The Newbee do have level 6 up on the clockwork now. So that initiation that we've been chatting about so far this game starting to come more and more online. KP also getting towards the blink. Oh, they're going to glyph their wagon here.
Damn. Now it's in deny range, though, so Newbee should be able to take this tower down themselves, although the bear's coming in. They should know this. KP's going to back himself up. Come on, boys. I don't know. Maybe they just want to hold on to the tower. I have no idea.
I think it's still a relatively short TP on this tier 1, so if they go for something, they can actually bring the storm in.
Yeah, good call.
SC just going to be going for the Bloodstone Rush. Does feel a lot weaker now compared to when there was a Soul Ring in the Bloodstone recipe, but it's still obviously an amazing item for Storm Spirit. I have seen some like Kaya first.
Yep, Kaya's been very popular. Kaka will find a Spirit Bear. It's not what he wanted. He wanted Monet, who's in true form. The Fisher will come out. That'll be from Alfu, kind of breaking things up. And there's the root coming in. Kaka has to go for a hook shot, and that won't even do anything. So I don't know if that was for him to survive or for them to try to get the kill on the Spirit Bear, but only one of them work out. He will actually be able to walk away back underneath his tier 1 tower. So now that's down, and you can't really initiate. And so Monet will continue to farm up to 6k net worth, and we'll see what happens next. This is 12 minutes into the game, and Newbee are kind of just running around. I don't want to say aimlessly. They're getting some farm for Faith, but they're going to lose this tier 1 tower one way or the other.
I think they're just waiting for the Blink Dagger on KP. And, he will be able to go for the deny now. That's nice. Inflame. It is just going to be a Blade Mail as the option for him. Very annoying for the Gyrocopter to deal with, but the Gyro is laying into him.
Yeah, Rocket Barrage, and he needs to be careful. He hasn't skilled Borrowed Time yet. I'm sure he will. Ball Lighting, they need to pull. Borrowed Time's about to get skilled up. He actually skilled Curse of Avernus accidentally. That's a rough one. I think he was dead anyway.
440.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Might have been an accident, might have been on purpose, but I saw the skill point go in, and I was like, well, he's dead one way or the other, so.
I think that might have been a turnaround if he got the
Borrowed Time off.
Timeout.
I'm sure it was a misskill.
Oh well, that is not good. One thing that is good is DDC has managed to get some deep wards down around the place as they continue to scout out up on this top side of the map. So they do have the Veil up on Super. Would like to find a kill, but
speaking of Super,
going the other way.
Yeah, there's the hook shot. He's got the Living Armor, the Illusion Orb, Super, Ghost Shroud. It's not going to save you this time. And even going to silence off into the bad Ball Lightning further. Aphotic Shield. He still has no Borrowed Time. He's so close to level 9, but he can't get there. And that miss skill, if that's what it was, is now starting to look really bad for LFY. They get 2 quick kills, and they will pressure the tier 1 tower along with it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Monet, we've seen you in this situation before. Your team enters Clown Town. Can you put them on your back?
They're putting the clown shoes on as we speak right now. They skip. Yeah. They're tying them up, and Monet is trying to take one off. He will go to work on this tier 1 tower.
On his lifting shoes, dude. That's what he needs to do right now.
DDC's gonna find a courier. Oh. Yeah, there it is. The invulnerability, the shield is what it's called. And that will keep the courier alive. They even juked it a little bit, and that actually might have saved it. Probably not. It was the shield that did most of the work, but now they know that there is a Treant Protector in their jungle. Not that they have any detection to work with, at least on Kaka, but Newbee are starting to get things going here, base skip, as they have level 7 on Shen. They have the Blink Dagger on KP. So what moves do they need to make to get this game back going in their way?
For LFY, it might actually just be a case of waiting for the Radiance at this point. I mean, they're pressuring a little bit here and there, but jumping from Kaka on mid.
Ghost Shroud. Dream Coil will come in. There's the Fisher. Call down getting dropped. The Waning Rift keeping Super away from that Reaper Scythe. He actually had the animation. And then the Hand of God came out as well, so he wouldn't have died anyways, even with the Reaper Scythe. DDC is going to be next. The Mud Golem Shard Toss. The double kill for Kaka and Newbee now grouping up together. This is what their lineup excels at. Fighting early, and now maybe they can take this tier 1 in the mid lane. Finally.
All this gyro damage is so brutal for the Necrophos to deal with.
It's rough.
He's not having a very fun time. I don't know if he would, like, maybe if he had a hood, it would give him a little bit more of a chance, but it feels like he would still just die anyway. There's so much lockdown. He's getting Dream Coil, he's getting trapped in the cogs, can't really move through the... Kaka again going in pretty...
He's in deep. I think he's dead. He is in trouble. He's going to get Reapered, and that will be a nice little pickup from LFY. Inflame is not worried about borrowed time anymore. Guess what? He's got it. And Faith, well, he wishes he had it. He has no Hand of God to work with. He is going to get chased down by Curse of Avernus, and LFY will turn 2. And all the meanwhile, Monet continues to farm bottom and get plenty of farm to work with.
I see. Just going to take no chances, zip all the way, continue farming up. Getting quite close to his Bloodstone, in fact. This is going to be a pretty solid timing.
Yeah. He's
for
done a
him.
great
He
job.
is the most farmed Dire hero, so makes sense.
Yes. And the Gyro's kind of up there with him, 1,000 behind. He's got a Mask of Madness, and he has max flat cannon now, so Mugi will be able to accelerate rather quickly as well. They still have yet to kill Monet. He is 0 deaths. He actually is 0-0-0, but he has 127 last hits, which is a lot, and he's about to have Radiance. The recipe just about 100 some odd away. And then with that, things get a little bit more tricky for Newbee, but they will smoke up. They will head into the lane, the top lane, it looks like. Perhaps into... No, I don't think they're going to be able to do Roche. They will just head top for now. That's going to be the choice.
I think the thing that LFY really need as well is to somehow keep their Abaddon and the Necrophos together, so that they can kind of save each other. Oh.
Afu.
He was not looking at
He
his
was
hero.
definitely not looking at his hero. That was pretty funny. They still have Hookshot. Call down will go, and now they're going to lose Abaddon as well. It looks like he has his TP scroll that just came out of his backpack. Blade Mail, and Mugi takes a lot of damage. There's the borrowed time. The Dream Coil will come in. Mugi will back himself away. Borrowed time now done. There's the cogs. Mugi will get healed up and now go back in probably with a Rocket Barrage. Blade Mail's back for 10 seconds, but that is not really an issue. He will run in, drop the Rocket Barrage, get the kill. And now Mugi knows that there is Blade Mail. Meanwhile, bottom lane trying to get the Spirit Bearer as SCCC. He's going to find it. And maybe Monet as well. He's going to zip his way through. He has a double damage rune. No. That's down. Now the Savage Roar. He's in trouble. He's going to jump away perhaps. SCCC wants this kill. He's trying. The Fisher just misses. And SCCC is able to jump out. That Bloodstone, that bottle, he's going to be fine for now. That was very close. Very aggressive. And boy, did it force a lot of rotations down from LFY into this bottom lane.
He messed them up. Like he just destroyed both of those heroes. Lucky that they're both so tanky and were able to survive, but that is not a good look if you're LFY. That was very scary.
Hook shot. There's no borrowed time for another 3 seconds. He's going to pop the Blade Mail. 2 seconds. He won't be able to get it off. And Kaka with another beautiful initiation from the side over at the Secret Shop. And that will be another death for Inflame. That is his 7th death of the game on Abaddon. That is significant for somebody like Inflame in this game.
And this is the multi-initiation factor that I kind of brought up earlier, right?
Yep.
That even if you see KP mid, it doesn't matter. You can't feel safe at all because it can be the Clockwork initiating, it can be the Storm Spirit initiating now. The Newbee just have so much pickoff potential, and LFY kind of scrambling to try and get this 5-man back on the rails.
Right.
If they can. I mean, that's probably got to be the plan. They're going to be buying up another Blade Mail as well on the Lone Druid.
Ooh,
Just trying to make
SCCC.
Jarekop's life miserable.
This is a huge kill if they can find it. Veil's going to get dropped. Oh, he just jumps away. He sees Super running up. He has to know that DDC is nearby. Overgrowth was on cooldown for another 7 seconds, so it was kind of optimistic to begin with. And I would imagine he's going to go Kaya, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go Eul Scepter for Storm at some point in the near future, too. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah, Yules could be a decent option.
Or BKB or something defensive.
Yeah. I mean, he could even. No, I guess yeah. I think Yules makes sense. I was just trying to think about whether or not Lotus Orb made any sense, but I don't think it really does.
No.
Or not too much this game.
But
all right, a little bit more pressure on Inflame. Does have his ulti and his Blade Mail, but doesn't know who's just around the corner, so have to be a little bit careful. Hippie's gone for a Midas. Newbee actually buying up a couple of Midases. in this situation.
Yeah,
I guess
they
feeling
are
quite confident about their late game with SCCC on Storm.
Yeah.
I would be too.
They are preparing for sure. If they can deal with this lone druid, then they'll be in a very good position because he's. I guess Super's not too far off either. He's sitting at 8,000. Late game Reaper Scythe Necrophos is pretty good as well. He's getting an Atos next for Super, so. I don't want to make it sound like LFY's late game is really bad or anything, but yeah, like you mentioned, SCCC on a Storm Spirit, he can take over this game. And we've seen it before. SCCC is the type of player that can do this, especially on this hero, so. They are going to have to deal with him at some point in the near future. They will TP DDC down bottom. He has Overgrowth, but he needs another hero in the vicinity to try to go for this kill. And it looks like Newbee's going to be behind him. Mugi is just about done with BKB. The Chen is working on bottom as well. SCCC will jump himself away as they see multiple TPs coming in. Super. The Flare will spout out of the Baton. And again, a lot of heroes down bottom for LFY. And I think if you're a newbie, you just leave. You just back up.
Why not? They've got really good vision. They got vision on the shrine. They got some vision over at mid. They got some vision over on the other shrine, so they know exactly what's going on. A big focus of the first two games is I think LFY had much better vision than Newbee in those two, but Newbee's getting the slightly better end of the situation here. These wards from LFY, I'm not gonna say that they're like optimistically deep or anything like that, but Newbee are kind of playing closer to the radiant side of the map.
Overgrowth, but it's actually going to be SCCC turning on DDC. The Savage Roar misses for Monet, and suddenly SCCC feels like he's getting away with murder. In fact, he's already killed one, burned a tree down, and his Kaya is up, making things a lot easier for him. So this man continues to be a nuisance. SCCC on this Storm Spirit, again, starting to play out of his mind with the help of his team, backing him up.
Yeah, he's just been farming away the whole time. His team's been doing a good job of continuously finding these pickoffs to really stifle the LFY early game, who are just looking kind of lost now that they've taken all the tier 1s. I guess that's the other thing, is that the lane shove and the, like even to a certain extent, the split push from Newbee is so much better than LFY. Like, even though they can't really take the towers that easily because of the Train Protector, the lanes are just always over on the LFY side of the map because Newbee have so many different heroes that can push without really committing too heavily. The Storm, the Puck, Gyro, flacks down waves pretty quickly. Even the Chen is no slouch, just sending his little creep army down. You look at KP, he's like jumping past Super to nuke the wave.
He is baiting things out. He's dream like Super. Super is going to try to force himself away, gets cogged, gets pushed pretty much into the river. And he dies 47 seconds on the sidelines. So that is, again, just... They're making some serious moves. They're finding some serious kills for Newbee. And like you said, LFY, they're just trying to figure out what they can do at this point in the game. They're trying to enter the enemy jungle, maybe get some wards down, but it looks like Newbee have an understanding of where some of these heroes are. So, I don't know. I mean, there's nobody farming bottom. There's nobody pushing out top, so...
Yeah, they see the Spirit Bear attacking at mid, so they know that the real hero is also here, and always suspect that there's some stuff not too far behind it, but they're just going to rally behind the bear for now. Newbee going to try and take 2 towers on both top and bot at the same time. The bear is pushing really fast, though, compared to
Demolish, baby.
Their heroes.
Yeah, they're going to take the tier 2 mid, and LFY... They might be able to defend one of these lanes. They're going to head bottom with his Necro. I don't know if they can defend top. I think it's really low. So it's actually a trade for Newbee, which is pretty good because, again, like you mentioned, Spirit Bear can push rather quickly. And I like that they get the tier 2 mid. Now they can threaten tier 3 if they ever can win a fight. How close is... Oh, Alpha was his Blink Dagger. Okay, that's what they're waiting on.
They needed that.
Yeah.
That's the biggest benefit that they've gotten from having all of these... getting all these towers down. It took him a really long time to farm it, but at least it's finally up. And they got an Atos on the Necrophos as well, so...
This is dangerous.
Does actually have to be a little bit careful here.
The rest of the team, I thought they were going to chase him down in the bottom lane, but they were chasing after Faith instead. There's the Nature's Guys, the Overgrowth. They have a Fisher ready. They're going to jump in. The Echo Slam will come through and chance out him. He's very tanky. Fisher Reapers, finally they will chain stun him and bring him down. He's dead for 40 seconds. And all of that gold, or rather a lot of that gold, going the way of Super. And SCCC finally gets punished for his hubris.
Yeah. KP seeing that the Echo and whatnot are down, though, is probably going to be able to play very aggressively at top and at mid to keep these lanes both shoved in, so he'll be making some space in the interim, but LFY is seemingly keen to stick around at bottom just a little bit longer, though the Lone Druid has switched back over to top.
Right. He is just trying to get farm, get the AC, and go from there.
Yeah, Newbee seeming pretty happy to just continue to let their Midas
do
their job.
What?
What?
What? All right. Well, KP is, I think, just as confused as we are. Is there another game they have to play in? What? That game wasn't.
Like what? Huh?
What the hell's happening, Cameron?
I don't know, dude. I'm as confused as you are.
LFY don't have another game they're playing anytime soon, as far as I can tell, according to the match ticker.
I mean, did we just watch a team implode? Like,
no, come on, no way.
Like what?
Surely
not, right?
They were doing great. I mean.